Hi class, in this video I'm going to talk about how to convert between fractions, decimals, and percent using a calculator. So to start, let's say I have a fraction which is 9 over 10. To change this fraction to a decimal, all I have to do is take the numerator, which is 9, and divide it by the denominator, which is 10. So 9 divided by 10, and I get an answer of 0.9 right here, which is just 0.9. So my decimal is going to be 0.9 for 9 over 10. Now, to change a decimal to a percent, I simply just have to type in my decimal, which is 0.9, and multiply it by 100. And I get an answer of 90 here. Once you get your answer for a percent, you simply just add a percent symbol to it. So again, I simply just took my decimal, times it by 100 to get 90%. Great. Now, if I'm given just the percent, which is 18%, the rules are simple. If I multiplied a decimal by 100 to make it become a percent, then to change a percent back to a decimal, I must divide by 100. So I'm simply going to type in 18 here, ignoring the percent sign. I'm going to remove it. Then I'm going to divide it by 100. And the answer I get on my calculator is 0.18. Hence, my decimal answer is going to be 0.18. Now, here comes the tricky part. To change a decimal back to a fraction using a calculator, well, unless you have a really special calculator that can do that, there is no way to really do that. So here's like, if you do have a special calculator, like for example, I can do it. I'm just going to hit a couple of my buttons here, hit answer, and it gave me my fraction as a reduced form. So they said 9 over 50 is my fraction in its most reduced form. Now, if you don't have that, you're just going to have to do it manually. So to do it manually, recall that 0.18, you basically look for your lowest place value to the right. This is the 8 in the hundredths place. Hence, my fraction is going to be over 100. And then you simply just write what you see here, the 0.18, except without the decimal. So I'm going to write 0.18. And 0.18 is technically the same as just 1/8. So I'm going to write my fraction as 1/8 over 100. And this is allowed because I'm not asking, or there's nowhere in the question asking you to reduce this to lowest terms. If I were to reduce 18 over 100, I simply can divide top and bottom by 2, and then I would get the 9 over 50 that I got on my calculator here. So unfortunately, unless you have a special calculator that can convert decimals to fractions, you're going to have to just know how to convert decimals to fractions manually, which is what we taught before in a previous video. Now, moving on. I have 0.17 here. So same idea. If I want to change this to a fraction, I look at the 7. That's in the hundreds place. Hence, I'm over 100. And I would just simply put in 0.17 or just 17. So 17 over 100 here. Now, moving on, if I were to convert 0.17 to a percent, I can simply type in 0.17, multiply it by 100, get an answer, which is 17, and then just add the percent symbol. And then I'm done. Okay, great. I have 0.8 for 0.8. You can simplify it earlier to 0.8 instead of 0.80. Now your lowest value that's not 0 to the right is an 8 in the tens place. Hence, this is going to be out of 10. And then I just write 0.8 on the top without the decimal. But 0.8 is technically the same as just 8. So I have 8 over 10 as a fraction. And now to change this to a decimal, I simply type in 0.8, and I'm going to multiply it by 100, get an answer, and then add the percent symbol to it. So I'm going to get 80. I'm going to add the percent symbol, so I have 80%. Okay, 1 over 4. I'm simply going to type in 1 divided by 4, because 1 over 4 as a fraction is the same as saying 1 divided by 4. I'm going to get an answer as a decimal. It's 0.25, so I'm going to say my answer is 0.25. And now to change the decimal to a percent, I'm simply going to type in 0.25 and multiply it by 100. I get 25. Once I've done that, I simply just add the percent symbol to the end, and that's it. Now, 15%, I'm simply going to take 15, divide it by 100, and this will give me my decimal answer. And all I have to do is not include the percent symbol in my decimal. So I just have 0.15. Now for 0.15, because the 5 is in the hundreds place, this is simply going to be over 100. And on the top, I have 0.15, which is just 1/5. So I have 15 over 100 here. Okay, 0.85, let's convert it to a fraction first. The 5 is in the hundreds place, hence this answer is going to be over 100. And since I have 0.85, I just write 0.85 on the top, or just 85, because 0.85 is the same as 85, so I have 85 over 100 as a fraction. Now, for my percent, I simply type in 0.85. I'm going to multiply it by 100, get an answer, and simply just add the percent symbol. So I get 85. I'm going to add the percent symbol. Now that's 85%. Now, for 11 over 25, I simply type in 11 divided by 25. I'm going to get an answer. That's 0.44. Hence, my decimal is going to be 0.44. Okay, great. So now to change that to a percent, I simply type in 0.44 and I times it by 100. I get an answer, and then I simply just add a percent sign at the end, and I get 44% here. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how to change between fractions, decimals, and percent when you have a calculator.